History, as taught in schools, is often presented as an objective record of past events. However, the reality is far more complex. Education systems across the world have been shaped by nationalism, political agendas, and the need to create a cohesive national identity. As a result, many historical narratives taught in schools contain exaggerations, omissions, and outright fabrications. Some of these distortions serve to simplify complex events, while others are designed to promote particular ideologies. Here in this video, we explore some of the most significant historical inaccuracies commonly taught in schools, their origins, and their consequences. Before we proceed, please do subscribe to our channel Sociopedia. The first big historical lie is that Middle Ages being a time of unrelenting darkness and ignorance. The term Dark Ages is often used to describe the medieval period between 5th to 15th centuries, suggesting that it was a time of widespread ignorance, superstition, and stagnation. However, many great scientific and cultural advancements occurred during this time, particularly in the Islamic world, which preserved and expanded upon Greek and Roman knowledge. Universities were founded, and important innovations, such as the mechanical clock and the printing press, were developed. The idea of a completely backward medieval Europe was largely invented during the Renaissance to make that era seem like a great intellectual rebirth. While there were certainly challenges, the Middle Ages were far more dynamic and complex than the Dark Ages myth suggests. Second biggest historical lie is that Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. This narrative ignores several key facts, including that indigenous peoples had already inhabited the Americas for thousands of years. Advanced civilizations such as the Maya, Aztec, and Inca had complex societies long before Columbus arrived. In fact, Norse explorer Leif Erikson reached North America around 1000 AD, nearly 500 years before Columbus. Columbus never actually set foot on what is now the United States. He landed in the Caribbean, mistaking the islands for parts of Asia. The myth of Columbus as the discoverer of America persists largely because it was promoted to create a heroic European narrative. In reality, his voyages initiated a brutal era of colonization, slavery, and genocide against indigenous peoples. Third historical lie is that the American Revolution was fought for freedom. In United States history classes, the American Revolution between 1775 to 1783 is often framed as a fight for liberty against British tyranny. While taxation without representation was a major issue, the reality is more complicated. Many of the founding fathers, including George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, owned enslaved people and did not intend for the new nation to grant freedom to all. Therefore, the Revolution did not abolish slavery. In fact, it helped preserve the institution in the southern states. Many indigenous tribes fought alongside the British because they believed British rule was less expansionist and threatening to their lands than American settlers. The Revolution was as much about economic interests and self-governance for the colonial elite as it was about freedom. Fourth historical lie is that the American Civil War was primarily about states' rights. A common narrative, particularly in southern states, is that the Civil War between 1861 to 1865 was about states' rights rather than slavery. However, historical documents, including the secession declarations of southern states, make it clear that the primary right in question was the right to own enslaved people. The Confederacy explicitly stated in its founding documents that slavery was central to its economy and society. Abraham Lincoln's election threatened the expansion of slavery, prompting southern states to secede. This myth was popularized in the late 19th and early 20th centuries as part of the lost cause ideology, which sought to downplay the role of slavery in the conflict. Fifth big lie is that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Several inventors, including Humphrey Davy, Warren de la Rue, and Joseph Swan, developed early versions of the light bulb before Edison. Edison's contribution was improving the bulb's longevity and commercial viability, not inventing it from scratch. Hence, the myth of Edison as a lone genius ignores the collaborative nature of scientific progress. In fact, this oversimplification is part of a broader trend of attributing inventions to a single person rather than recognizing collective contributions. Last but not least is the historical lie that Einstein failed mathematics. It is often claimed that Albert Einstein failed math as a child, but Einstein excelled in mathematics from a young age and was even ahead of his peers. This false story is often used to encourage struggling students, but it distorts Einstein's actual academic history. The real lesson from Einstein's life is the importance of curiosity and perseverance, rather than overcoming mathematical failure. Altogether, while some of these lies are harmless simplifications, others serve to distort history in ways that reinforce biases and omit uncomfortable truths. A more accurate understanding of history requires questioning traditional narratives, seeking diverse perspectives, and engaging with primary sources. Only by doing so can we develop a fuller, more honest picture of the past. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to our channel, Sociopedia.